Welcome, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Edwin.
Hi.
Arendis.
Hey, everybody.
Stanswinda.
Hello.
And Black.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone. And this week we actually have some news because we have the release of Update 22.1. And
Woohoo.
the big thing, and the big thing here, of course, is they put in all the stuff for the upcoming 11th anniversary.
Which starts Thursday.
Yeah, which made me think it started this past Thursday, so I was giving wrong information out to everyone. So.
Oops. But it starts this coming Thursday, assuming that you listen to it. This show at a timely interval in here, but
So right now, this coming Thursday is the 19th, right?
Right, as we're recording this and as we're publishing this. And in here, we, of course, have the 11th year gift. And whatever year you're on is the gift that you'll be getting. So this year, I guess I'll be getting the 10th year gift. And some of you, Black, what year gift will you be getting?
I will be on the 9th, I believe, for mine.
9th. So therefore, we all will be getting our little gift there, so depending on how we're going. And there are other things in here, such, for example, many of the fiddles, they have updated them so that their ranges are extended down to cover the lowest note. So they added a fifth string to our fiddles.
Apparently. I thought that was a bit strange, actually. I thought that was a bit strange, but okay.
Oh, you mean that there wasn't one in the first place, or?
No, that they decided that it needed one.
Well, that's because the community was crying for it.
Yeah,
there's been constant feedback in the music forums about it.
Right.
And they decided, though, that with the student's fiddle will remain the way it is, and that they are going to be adding a second basic fiddle to the bards with the extra string. With the student's fiddle, they will keep the sound effects just in case there are some composers there who want to take advantage of them.
I actually think they're kind of cool. For role-playing purposes, you can role-play a bard who's like totally not confident in his fiddle.
Well, yeah, that is one of the things you could do. And of course, there are one or two pieces that call for special effects like that. But yeah, it allows us to be able to have the best of both situations there, that you could have with the full range or with the sound effects. And looks like that they are... Oh, yes, Battle Cats and Sabertooths from 107 to 116 are now going to drop Doomfold hides. Yeah, we do.
About time.
Yes, about time.
This was apparently like the one type of critter that was not dropping the hides of the appropriate level.
Yeah, so finally got that done. They did some tweaking to the new fishing deed. And adding a few extra shoppers to one of the quests in Dale, because apparently a lot of people were complaining they were having trouble finding said shoppers.
I did that 2 days before they changed it. I didn't really find any issues, but...
Well, I have a feeling that if not too many people are around, it's one thing, but if there are a lot of people doing it, if you're doing it for I don't know whether the quests there are, all the dailies are always the same, or if they switch them in and out or anything like this. That's the thing I'm not too sure of.
Yeah, I haven't got to the dailies part of it.
Is this another quest where we're going to have to count them down?
This was just walking around finding them.
I think that counting it down is going to be a necessity, because I think
they run off after you help them.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to worry about that. That's assuming that it's not worse than that.
This is not conducive to groups, guys.
Yeah, that's always if you're in a
Take note, please, Standing Stone. This type of quest is not conducive to group play.
if you want to have such quests that do this where they do have to leave like that, then if you're in a group, why don't you just have the entire group get credit?
Yeah, one person can talk to him, and then everybody gets credit for it.
Because then at least if you think it's necessary for them to leave. Oh well. And I think we have some stuff with the Forge Master and the Relic Master on their interface on there. Hopefully trying to make that a little bit easier for you. And
I
those
haven't
are all.
played with that since they changed it, so I'm not totally sure how exactly it changed. It was on my list. I didn't get to it.
So that's the main stuff that we have in there. So let's head into the beacon, where we have a spring horse, it looks like, on the top cover.
No, that's last year's summer horse.
That's your summer. Yeah, that explains why it's a sunflower on there. What's summer horse doing on us during the spring season? I guess we did just finish the.
Well, if they're getting the weather that I'm getting, then I don't blame them for hoping for winter.
Okay, you do have a point with that. Wishful thinking, I presume. And then, Salaruth is a German streamer who will be raffling off LOTRO points at some upcoming streams, so you could check out his streams on that. Fibro Jedi has a new fan fiction on his website, so you could click on the link to read about an uncommon hobbit. And Louis 7 and Dan from Dan's Adventures defeat wargs in the warg pens. I would presume it's Dol Guldur, though it says Mordor on the link here. And then Legwath I Meridin. Oh no, that was already happened today. So let's go to the Kin Hall. The White Knights of Middle-earth is a kinship on Arkenstone that accepts everyone from beginner to end-game content players. They accept all races and levels and have a forum monthly lottery for a draw of 5,000 LOTRO points. And also weekly events, and they're always looking to fellowship. And you could click on there in order to get more information about their kin. So let's go to the weekly comment. What do you do when there aren't any festivals going on?
The same thing I do when festivals are going on.
I was expecting that answer. Yeah.
Which is go fishing, right, Terry?
That's me.
It's play the game.
Yeah,
There's so much other stuff to do.
Right. There are things called questing and skirmishing and.
Wouldn't be a Pinely fancier if skirmishing wasn't involved.
Exactly.
Right?
All right. Very well. Ernest, what do you do when there are no festivals?
Mostly just questing, regular, trying to go through the epic story for the first time.
And how are you progressing in that? Or do you want to save that for your weekend LOTRO?
No, we can go with that. I don't remember exactly where, like a specific volume and book, but I'm around level 55-ish. So if that kind of gives any indication of where I am.
Yeah, it sounds like you're somewhere in Moria, unless you're really pushing it. Therefore, let's head into the fan site news. Eklinar quests on their Bjorning. And that was in episode 43, Tracking the Black Riders. That sounds like something in the Troll Shawls.
I hope so. At episode 43.
Yeah. Gameolio Dan continues his adventures in part 93 of his series, North Cotton Farmers Market. North Farmers Market. He must be going through there at quite a slow pace if he's at 93 and only getting to the North Farmers Market.
He's probably calling that wrong turn again.
Yeah. Then there's a new episode of LOTRO Players News, of course, agreeing all the things. Bethelian tackles Wound and Fear in Ostdunhoth. And Gary and Metatron Quest in Mordor in episode 35, Hirith Ungol and Kankra, Edelingris storyline. Okay. And our screenshot of the week seems to be a distant view of Orthanc in Isengard.
Actually, did you see this? Did you see about these posts? This guy did a bunch of panoramic shots of different places, and I think this is one of those.
That is a beautiful shot.
Yeah, he stitched together lots of shots all over Middle Earth. It's a really nice post.
Woo!
I kind of want to use that one as my computer background.
Yeah.
But that's definitely Orthanc in the middle.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely Orthanc in the middle. Then let's head out and see what's on sale this week. Terry, anything good? Oops.
Yeah, not really. The sample of the week this week is a combat run speed boost times 5 with coupon code RUNFAST now through April 19th, which is perfect for hunters and wardens.
Well, yeah, you just say run fast, and then they go out of there, and they're like, "Bye, guys."
Yeah. And then 30% off virtues and virtue bundles, trait slots, and skill and slayer deed boosts. So, meh, not really. I don't spend LOTRO points on this stuff, but you guys are more than welcome to.
Then let's head into our site news, where we have our next installment of CC99 instances. Love, Kill, or Marry in Osgiliath.
There's a clickbaity title if ever I've read one, but
But it works, though.
it works. Except it kind of doesn't, because the Osgiliath instances, I kind of want to murder them all. I hate them all. I hate them all. I was talking about this in the pre-show. And actually, I'm going to blatantly, for once, blame Andang on the air. It's all his fault that I hate these instances. Because he dragged Pineleaf and I through them woefully unprepared during beta.
Yeah. Right, because we know nothing about them, and of course, we are generally not geared up for it or anything like that. Especially me, since I don't normally spend all my time getting the perfect gear in the Isengard like some people like to do.
Well, I seem to recall one of the comments that was made was, "How bad can it be?"
That's always good.
Oh, that phrase always leads into a disaster, if I recall correctly.
Oh, yeah, always. Well, I didn't know better at the time.
Well, yeah, there was that. And yeah, you go to an instance, you're wondering what's going on in here. And yes, I just remember the sunken labyrinth, or at least the torture is seared into my memory, if not the instance itself.
Well, see, when that stuff came out, I actually was just kind of still new to the whole community thing, and I was just thrilled that Andang asked me to do questing with him. And yeah, now I know better. I know to make excuses for nope, can't. I gotta wash my hair or something.
As for Dome of Stars, I don't think I've ever done Dome of Stars.
I have. Actually, I think we did that with girls. And early girls, really, really early girls. Because I did it with my Runekeeper, who is squishy as heck anyway, and I spent most of the instance running back from the spawn point repeatedly.
Yeah.
The one saving grace about those instances is that if you die, you don't have to run all the way back from the beginning. Once you've cleared a certain boss, I mean, this is actually one of the first clusters where they started to do that, where if you had cleared the boss, you didn't have to run all the way back from the beginning.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Then with the ruined city, I must have been constantly dying just before the first boss, because I remember a lot of runs from the beginning, getting lost in 5 different ways, trying to get back there. I developed a passionate hate for that instance. And that one I can't blame on ending, because I don't think I did that one in advance, but oh boy. Yeah. I don't think I could. I think I had a lot of trouble with. I try to remember whether or not that was in the scavenger hunt last year, because if it did, I'm pretty sure I had a lot of trouble with it.
I don't know if Ruin City was, but I'm pretty sure that Dome of Stars was. Because you had to do something with Rook, and that was Dome of Stars.
Is that Dome of Stars?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had thought that was. Oh, I thought that was in one of the Pelennor ones. Okay, so. Okay, it was in Dome of Stars?
Pretty sure.
I guess from the name, I thought the Dome of Stars took place inside the Dome of Stars. And.
No, you have to get to the Dome of Stars, so there's a little bit of outside the dome.
Okay.
Before you get to the dome.
All right, if that's the case, then I must have done it in order to do, because I do remember going through a lot of headaches in order to get to Rook. So I probably did that. I think I might have set it to 50 in order to do it, and I still almost got killed. And that was with a 105 character. So yeah, that was a real. I remember, some really nasty things in that. But yeah, that's some bad memories on there. So yeah. At least I can see that there's somebody, that squirrel must like him, because he's talking about how he loves, even when it says kill, I think he's talking about it in how he loves trying to kill the stuff that's in there, or killing the instance in that he enjoys defeating it and stuff like that. To me, I just want to kill it. Any other comments about these instances? Anyone with a rebuttal for it?
I have not run them, so I can't.
Me
Well,
either.
we'll have to fix that.
Oh no.
How bad could it be?
Famous last word.
Do you really, really, really want to know? Then let's head out to the Poems of the Pine, which have returned finally in reaching the Black Book of Mordor.
Sweet.
I was so excited to see that in my Twitter feed this week. There's a new Poem of the Pine. I don't have time to read it right now, but there's a new one.
There we are. Poems of the Pine. We're heading into the Black Book of Mordor, 4 at the Gate. Chapter 1, Part 1. The gate of Mordor was mangled and bent, leaving a way for wanderers to pass. The fearless and foolish follow the path to the darkest realm of death and fear. Why enter the realm of ruin and blight? Why pass the gates of greatest peril? We spoke with 4 at the front of the gate to learn what lured them to the loathsome realm. Rogreen sought treasure of times long past. Covadil sought lore covered in ash. Anna sought to honor the ancient watch, and Harthaline sought surety of Sauron's death. But what would this land of lasting terror deal to this daring group? It's madness to walk through Mordor's gates and breach the borders of blackness.
I have to say that I was so tickled about that line, why enter the realm of like the whole thing of why? Because that was me when we were going through Mordor. Like every time we got a quest, why are we doing this? Why?
And then some of the rangers or whatever, they were actually trying to seek treasure. Like, what treasure are you going to get out of this place? Really?
I know.
It's all cursed.
I'm pretty sure even if there was treasure, which there's never treasure. Spoiler, but there's never treasure. I'm pretty sure if there was, you wouldn't really want it anyway.
Yeah, I think the only piece of treasure we find, we have to go through an entire quest line in order to remove the corruption from it.
I know, and then it's not even a good pocket item.
Yeah, I think you replace it a couple of levels later. Yes. But it is one of your first ones with a significant amount of light into it. So unless you've been dropping the light left and right, it should do you for a couple of levels for that. So let's head into our new player question for this week. And Arandas, what do you wish to know this time?
I will let you know once I find the right tab. Give me 1 second. There we go. Sorry, I've got 14 tabs open. My question for this week is, when playing in a group, of whatever size, and you enter an area that has a lot of players in it, like Bree or Gondor, or I don't know, maybe some highly populated place in Rohan, sometimes you get a notification that you and your party members are on different tiers or layers. Is there any way to get everyone on the same tier or layer, or do you have to log out and log back in, log out, log back in? Do you just have to do part of the quest and then group up afterwards? How does that work?
You should be able to go to the layer that your leader is on.
How do you do that, though?
You just click the little icon that popped up, the little blue icon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so kind of like the indicator that says there are layers. If you click it, it'll take you to where your fellowship leader is.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And in fact, when you have concerts where that is happening, there are some times where what they will do is if there's someone on another layer, they have to go around finding the people who are on the other layer, inviting them to a group with someone who is on the right layer, and then bring them all in. That occasionally happens on concerts, and I remember that happening a couple of times in the lore hall when Corey was doing his thing. Anyone else have anything concerning layers or rejoining our group?
The only thing I'd say about it is if you're doing something like a festival and you want to go to a less populated, make sure you can change leaders and go to that person's layer, do it that way.
Oh, okay.
Could be beneficial that way.
Right, because it only works to get to the leader's layer, right?
Right.
Yeah. The idea there is that they're assuming that the leader knows where you want to be.
Or like if you're doing like the stage play in the Winter Festival and there's nobody in there to do the stage play, then someone else may know that there's more people in that one, so you go to that one.
Gotcha.
Yes. Then let's head into our week in LOTRO. And Ariandis, what have you been up to?
I have had a very busy week, have not been able to touch the game, which makes me very sad. So I'm probably going to binge it this next week. So we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah.
Black, I'm sorry.
We've got an anniversary coming up.
I know, and I'm really excited. I don't know if I did the anniversary last year, just the way that it worked out week-wise, but I'm excited to go through it and see what happens. So, Black, what did you do this week?
This might as well have been called the week of fishing for me, because I swear. I went from level 20 to 79 in fishing. I'm starting to catch really better fish now. Before the show, I started fishing again for about 30 minutes and caught about 5 or 6 trophies. I got a 15-pound salmon, so I'm working my way up to that 50. I'm trying to get the Trout Master title, but the freaking rainbow trout is just nowhere to be found. I also, besides fishing, I did I tried to take advantage of the Welcome Back weekend this weekend. I have a minstrel that's round 110, and I'm trying to get to 115. I probably won't make it, but I got to 111 at least, and I got the very cool title Well Preserved. And let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I have my brother-in-law. He's coming in and out during the week, so I'm helping him through his early 100s. And last Sunday, my wife and I, we started what we thought was a small little quest to get the puzzle goat from Northern Mirkwood, and that thing took like 3 hours. So heads up, guys. Terry Edwin, how was your week?
Well, I got around to doing the Allegiance Daily Quest for the dwarves this week, and the first quest was like the best quest ever, because it was delivering ale kegs to thirsty dwarves in Telith Urwi. So for me, nice. It's like the best quest, which I actually think from now on I'm just going to pair it with doing the pit fight in Telith Urwi, because I also really love doing the pit fight for some reason. I always have a blast doing that instance. Dwarves continue to be better to work for than elves, because I also managed to get enough allegiance rep to the next bit of the Dwarf Allegiance quest, which is you go around and you ask the dwarves if they're going to support the new guy, and you have to go back and deliver their answer. And it's really kind of funny to get their reactions, and just dwarves. If you've dealt with dwarves in the game before, it's basically the same thing, up to 11. And then the other thing I did was my Warden Melethriel. We were Sands this Thursday, so and I wasn't sure if I was going to be feeling up to doing anything anyway, but I kind of was. So I asked Pineleaf and Black if they had characters that we could maybe do something together with, which was really kind of funny because Pineleaf read through characters that he had available, and then I read through like all 25 of the characters that I have. And Black goes, maybe it would be helpful if I told you guys what I have, because I have way fewer characters. So it was a Dwarf Minstrel at level 78, and a Hobbit Minstrel at level 79, and an Elf Warden at level 81. And we ended up in the Wald in the Eastern Rohan and hunted warbands, which is always amazing. Pretty funny when you've got a pair of minis on war steeds, because then we talked last week about aggroing the landscape.
I was about to say.
You really aggro like everything between the pair of minis. Great. Between the pair of minis and the warden. Yeah. Everything everywhere wanted to come kill us.
Please tell me you had a whole train following you, Pineleaf.
No, they were riding in circles around us, because we're all riding in circles. Because that's how you do war steed combat, is you ride in circles.
Sometimes circles, anyway.
Well, sometimes you just run off. And then back.
We had said, well, maybe one of the 3-mans, and of course, Black is a slacker about doing the Mirkwood skirmishes, apparently. Probably still hasn't done them.
He still hasn't purchased the bulk of them.
Fishing?
No, look, you can fish in Mirkwood after you do the skirmishes. So we ended up doing the school and library at Tamardine, which I haven't done in a while, but that's a pair of instances that I actually enjoy doing. So that was really super relaxing, because not only do I know the content, but you've got a warden and a pair of minis, and everything in all of those instances is vulnerable to light damage, which is what we're doing. So
yeah,
it just, everything melted. And yeah, so other than that, I had a fairly light week. So Sans, what were you up to?
Well, I went Scrooge hunting in Northern Mirkwood with Ploy, and that was actually a lot of fun. Worst eating recklessly through trees is always kind of fun. But no, it's fun running with Ploy. There's always a bunch of good hunters, and you just see things falling over all over the place, so that's pretty fun. And we took out all 3 scourges, so that was pretty cool. And then on Sunday with the girls, I led an unauthorized cheese hunt.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before the show started, we're gathering and we're talking about cheese, and somebody's like, "Oh, I've got to go see if I can find some cheese." And I was like, "You know what? This is a really funny conversation, and Terry and Raven aren't here to tell us what we should or shouldn't do, so I'm going to go live with this." So then I go live with it, and we're all riding off to the Barrows to go cheese hunting, and as I was explaining to chat why we were going cheese hunting and that we were unauthorized, Terry's like, "I'm here." So she joined us on our cheese hunt. And yeah, we got about half the people got cheese. So we get to do more hunting so that we can all fulfill our cheese pact.
Cheese pact.
Oh yes. Yes, we have a cheese pact.
What is a cheese pack?
We're all going to eat our cheese together.
Oh my gosh, please do it on stream.
I hope it will
that
be on
is the
stream.
plan.
That is the plan. So yes, if you missed girls this last week and you are one of the girls of Middle Earth listening to this, which is unlikely, but if you are, do not fear, there's still time to join the cheese hunt. Except it's kind of more authorized. And then I danced with Thranduil. Yeah, I was helping a rather forgetful elf, and was looking for what elves to dance with, and we decided to dance with Thranduil, and that was probably the best scolding I've gotten. So yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a
he
lovely
scolded you?
scolding when he did that.
Well, kind of. And he's like, "Have you been in my Dorwinian wine?" But it totally counted, so it was totally worth it. And,
Counted?
Oh yeah, it counted.
Oh,
And-
that's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
And then we asked another random elf walking by, he's like, "I'm too busy for that," but it counted too. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, that was my week. Finally, how was your week?
We'll begin with the field trip, where since Sans was away, our group decided to head into the Lone Lands, and we dealt with lots and lots of goblins in there. So we caught somebody up in the epic storyline, and then we killed goblins all over the place, and we killed spiders, and we just finished up at the point where you'll be heading into Oscaruth. And then on Crick Hollow, my warden attempted to tank a couple of skirmish raids. These are the weekly group there where we run tier 3 skirmish raids, and I am not a tier 3 ready character, so I really do keep the mini busy, let's say, when I am trying to tank those skirmishes in there.
Oops.
So we usually did all right, except for that one little spot during the first time we tried the boss fight for Assault on the Ring Raid's lair, where the fell beast comes down and decides to fear everybody all at once.
Oh.
Yeah, when that happens, right. So your tank is now feared. I think at least all the tanky people were feared, so therefore the fell beast went and picked off all the rest of the people one by one.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's they're like, yeah, okay, reset, start over, try again. Fortunately, it went better the second time around. And then my Gladden lore master demonstrated how quickly the menagerie can kill a skirmish boss. And I was running the Drums of the Deep, so therefore I was doing the 3 Moria skirmishes. And I decided, okay, first one in there, on the boss in there, I figure, okay, fine, I guess I'll send the menagerie after. I can't remember if I sent the menagerie after the boss for the first one, but for the second one, I decided maybe I better get Harna down as quickly as possible so he doesn't go and kill the goblins and get his buff on him. So I brought out the menagerie just before Harna is activated and sent them against them, and Harna and the 2 goblins just melted away in 3 seconds. I thought, all right, fine. Harna isn't exactly the toughest boss, especially if he hasn't killed the goblins. So therefore I thought, all right, now it's Battle of the 21st Hall, and let's see how long it takes to kill the boss from the Battle of the 21st Hall. So therefore, I go in there, run the Battle of the 21st Hall, and I feel a bit squishy in there, but I managed to get in there without ever getting killed or anything like that. So comes the boss fight, and just as the boss is running in, of course, I summon a menagerie, stick them onto the boss in there, and I notice, oh yeah, he has that corruption on him. I better go and remove that corruption for him. Before I could find my corruption removal skill and attempt to remove it was like melted away. The menagerie at level 60 is powerful. I just can't. Okay, I did see what happened to the Watcher. I remember what happened to the Watcher. He lasted a little bit longer, of course. But, okay, I figured out. I thought, all right, I don't have inspiration here, right? This is. No. Melted away. I think that is one of the more powerful bosses that you have in a skirmish is the one in the Battle of 21st Hall. And yeah, just melted away.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what do you feed your pets, Pine Leaf?
I don't know, but it looks like something really nice because they certainly can rip something apart when they have a mind to do so.
You could say they go in beast mode.
Into beast mode.
I'm sorry, I'll leave now.
Yeah. The show's not quite over yet. Though we are getting near the end, I guess, because we currently have 17 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of LOTRO Players News. And this week, we actually have an email, and it comes from Tejo. And Sans, could you please read this?
Sure. Tehol writes, "Greetings, everyone. I have been a longtime fan of yours and have heard you on various LOTRO podcasts on and off for years now. As a warden and lover of skirmishes myself, Pine Leaf is my LOTRO hero. What servers do you all usually play on, and is there an official LOTRO player's kin and server? I would love to run some skirmishes or explore Middle Earth with you guys sometime. Keep up the great work. Tehol."
And apparently Tejo plays on Laurelin. And that's probably not one of the more common servers that we play on. Now, I do have a capped warden on Laurelin, but I don't think most of us play there too often, since it is mostly by people in Europe.
Yeah, I'm mostly on Landrival. There's a little teeny tiny Arendis on Arkenstone, but I haven't touched her in a long time. So mostly Landrival for me. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm Land Rover mostly, and I think I have one on Arkenstone as well.
I think this is actually the first time in the history of ever that like the entire cast plays on mostly the same server, because while I have alts everywhere, as everybody knows, I do consider Landrival to be my primary server. It's where my main Terry is.
Yes, my main is on Crick, but of course, I do have two capped. The most capped characters I have though is actually on Landrival. Yeah. Now you'll find probably as for the other place where we often you heard Arkenstone come up recently. When we talk about the field trip, we're talking about the LOTRO Academy group, which meets over at Arkenstone. So a lot of us have characters probably in relation to that. Though I don't think Arendis has done anything with the Academy before.
I went on, I think, one or two of when Yeah, I think I went on 1 or 2 a long time ago,
Ah.
but I haven't been able to go for a long time. So
That's where that Lovi probably
Mhm.
video in Arkansas came from. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
So there.
it should still be possible to join field trips on Arkenstone if somebody wanted to, right?
Oh yeah. So therefore, I would suggest that if you want to try, you could try Arkenstone. We have a weekly field trip that's on Fridays at 6 p.m. server time, which I know that if you have to be, if you're in Ireland, you might be living in the UK. If you do live in the UK, then that would be, unfortunately, 11 p.m. for you.
Yeah, but as far as a LOTRO player's kin, we don't have anything official as far as I know.
Nope.
Nope.
There was LOTRO Players Adventures like way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't actually know if Adventures is even still around. I think it got disbanded.
Well, I think a lot of us probably dropped from that kin if we were ever in them.
I wasn't ever actually in it anyway.
Right. Yeah, because if I ever were, then I think that character eventually went into Mythgard or on that kin. Yes. If you would like to be like Tejo and send us an email, you can send it to podcast@LotraPlayers.com. You can also follow us at Twitter, The Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, Lotra Players @LotraPlayers, Ariandes @Ariandes, Black @Black Shrubbery, Piney Piney Mules, Sanswinda @Sanswinda, and Terry Adwin @TerryAdwin. The Players Alliance has 4 shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have LOTRO Players News every other Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have XP Quest, and on the first Tuesday of each month at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Chromatibit. You can join us for our live shows at LOTROPlayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Piney Mules reminding you to skirmish responsibly.